Be blessed by the divine.
Be blessed by it.
For centuries, both scientists and philosophers have been researching upon three very important questions. Why do we fall sick? Why do we age? And why do we die? Kayakalpa Yoga, the body immortality yoga, offers a logical insight into the answers for these three questions. Our siddhas, our rishis, have been practicing Kayakalpa Yoga for centuries and believe that many people lived for several hundred years, although there is no scientific proof of people having lived for hundreds of years. Certainly, people have lived a fulfilling life close to 90, 100 plus years in the past. The credit seems to be given by all these rishis to the art and the practice of Kayakalpa Yoga. Kaya is body, Kalpa is immortality. Therefore, Kayakalpa Yoga is body immortality yoga. This system of yoga has been simplified and gifted to us by our Guru Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi. I learned this in 1986, and ever since I've been practicing this, and I have had great benefits coming to me because of this yoga form. I have with me today Dr. Thavamani Jagannathan, who has about 32 years of medical practice after having graduated from the Bangalore Medical College. And she has also done her MBA, PhD, as well as MSc in yoga and PG diploma as well. She has been trained and she has worked in various prestigious institutions like Bangalore Medical College, St. Martha's, Vanivelas Hospital, Victoria Hospital, Breach Candy Hospital, Jaslok Hospital, and the research center in Jaslok in Mumbai, and College of Medical Sciences in Nepal. Now, in the last 22 years, she is practicing in the United Arab Emirates. Her field of passion has been empowering women and children, specifically on preventive health awareness through holistic approach. She specializes in medical counseling, spiritual counseling, and she is currently engaged in school health services and has been an active researcher and scientist in our World Community Service Center. Sometime about 7 years ago, when she visited Aryar Temple of Consciousness, she learned the Kayakalpa Yoga system and has done significant research in that particular space. I welcome Dr. Professor Dhavamani for this discussion. Welcome, Dr. Dhavamani.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome.
Lovely to have you today with us for this wonderful session.
Yes, it's really amazing session.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's just dive right into the discussions. Yes. Now, before we discuss about the Kayakalpa's benefit and the specific aspects of the benefits with respect to the women reproductive health and overall women health, and I want to ask you as an opening question, what are some of the common problems related to women's reproductive health in the recent times?
Actually, being an obstetrician and gynecologist, basically women's problem is divided into three parts: adolescent age, the problems related to pregnancy and the problems related to after the pregnancy period. So since I'm in the spiritual field, so I like always to speak based on the brahmacharya stage, grihastha stage, vanaprastha stage, and sannyasa stage. It becomes so easy to discuss the problems. In adolescent period, these days, the common problem is children are becoming, attaining their puberty in an earlier age group. That's what they commonly come to us. And even after the periods, the cycles are so irregular, or the flow is very heavy, or they don't get any flow associated with obesity. Obesity is one of the major problem, which in turn is leading on to polycystic ovarian diseases and the related problems. And later on, when they enter into the grihastha stage, the main problem becomes obesity and infertility. We know how expensive it is with infertility, and with modernization, children wants to get married later, they want to conceive later, how old the ovum and sperm becomes, and how difficult it is for an infertility specialist to make them pregnant. So these are all the struggles we go through. Along with that, some medical problems with modernization, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, lung-related diseases, even cancers are also so common these days compared to the olden days. So when we take into the vanaprastha stage, menopause, puberty, pregnancy, menopause, all three are just a physiological process. But these days, it is associated with a lot of medical problems. So that's how we divided it. And once they enter into sannyasa stage, it doesn't mean that they are health free. Again, another problem like Alzheimer's and dementia associated with diabetes. Like that, we have various problems. When I just finished my graduation and post-graduation, I was just a gynecologist. Now I see infertility specialist, adolescent gynecologist, PCOD specialist, cancer specialist, like that various specialties are there. It's a great challenge for us because diseases are just increasing like anything. That's how I got interested into preventive health. Why treat a disease? Why can't we prevent a disease? That's the interest and passion I have on this.
Lovely. You spoke about three phases: the adolescent phase, the pregnancy, the childbirth phase, and the menopausal phase. And you're saying, from your experience, you are seeing that in all the three stages of a woman's life, there seems to be health complications, including terminal diseases like cancer and other serious lifestyle diseases like heart diseases. Now, why have these diseases come into existence in the last, more prevalently in the last 30, 40 years? Is there any specific set of reasons behind this? So have you done any analysis or research on that?
Yes, this WHO, World Health Organization, main preventive health programs are based on these only. The common problem, as we said, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular problem, lung diseases, and cancer. This can be prevented just by physical activity, healthy food habits, and reducing your stress level and preventing alcohol and smoking. What is similarity with Vedatrium philosophy? All these are included in Vedatrium philosophy. If they come to me with a disease, they just Google and come and tell me, I have this disease. These are all the good medicines. Doctor, please write. This is the insurance card available. That's how they say. But preventive health can really help. That's how, like, once I recommend them to these type of preventive health measures, it is possible. That's what from WHO also we are struggling. I'm not only into Vedatrium philosophy, I talk in different organizations about the same. Like in whatever language they understand, whatever philosophy they want to take up, and I will just motivate them into the same procedures.
Lovely. How does one prevent these diseases?
So basically with modernization, what we see is people are so sedentary lifestyle they have. that activity is so less. That's how, like, I find this sky yoga and physical activity is so simple. We just start with the sky exercises, where Maharshi has designed in such a way that all the systems, all the parts of the body is stimulated. We have to give heat circulation, blood circulation, and air circulation to all parts of the body, because a human being should be treated as a whole, not as a uterus and not as a ovary. Because once we specialize, that's what happens. Even fibroid specialist has to keep on treating only fibroids. Infertility specialist has to treat infertility, because she has no time to talk about nutrition or physical activity. She assumes that people will take care of that. Otherwise, she will refer them to nutritionist, because nutritionist has to take 1 hour. A counselor has to convince her for 1 hour. So this time is not there, because she has to treat the diseases. That is how, like, we have to work in a holistic way to help overcome these diseases.
Lovely. How does yoga help or specifically benefit women's reproductive health? So
Actually,
now
I
this
would,
is a very broad question of
yeah, it's
yoga.
really
So
very,
you can take a specific area of yoga that you are specializing in, whatever that you are specializing in, you can touch upon.
yes, sir. So actually, in 2014, when I visited Aliyar, I just learned this Kayakalpa. That was the first time I was introduced to this Kayakalpa exercise. But in my gynec practice since MBBS day, we follow Kegel's exercise. We teach them, that is strengthening of the pelvic floor. I thought, my God, this only is modified Kegel's exercise, I thought. So that's how my inquisity increased. And then we had a doctor's conference in Aliyar. I was introduced to Dr. Rabindranath. He is a surgeon in Coimbatore, 70 plus, but still so actively working on that. What is the secret behind? Like that, our inquisitiveness increased. And then in this doctors conference, all the Siddha doctors, homeopathy doctors, and naturopathy doctors, so I got to interact with all these people. So that's how we clubbed all this. Then it just so happened I was also in an adolescent health camp in Aliyar, and 250 girls. And one research scholar, Aruna, she was doing research work on Kayakalpa and deer exercise and its effect on adolescent children. And just I was also teaching these children about these exercises and all. After 20 days, I was really surprised to see these children coming and tell me, doctor, what magic did you do? All my pain, premenstrual symptoms, they used to roll with pain, with back pain and stomach pain, and so many problems they used to say. And 3 days complete bed rest, no school, nothing. But in these 20 days, something magic you did. Actually, we know as doctors, we don't do any magic. You have trust and faith in us, we can cure. If you don't have trust and faith, it's very difficult. So these children had trust and faith, and Maharshi Vedatri has given us such a simple technique, 7 minutes technique. Plus, we know about the life schedule of Aliyar. No? They wake up so early in the morning. They walk around in the morning like natural surroundings. They do exercises. They eat healthy food. They listen to so many talks given by such famous personalities, and overall this had a great benefit on these children. We followed it up for about a month and 3 months and even 1 year. She must be completing her PhD research. It's an amazing one. Like how these gynecological problems can be relieved with this Kayakalpa exercise, deer exercise, and the overall sky yoga. That's how I was really interested and got more involved into this system along with my gynec practice.
So tell me, how does Kayakalpa yoga help in women's health? What is the science behind it?
Actually, Kayakalpa yoga, just theoretically we can speak now, but practically if they want to understand, they have to attend the Kayakalpa yoga classes, because now online is also available. And if we want to really know in depth about that, if we attend, we will be benefited by that. But like I will just tell in a shorter form. female, like God has created female for a different function. He is really so much regards for females that he selected them to deliver all the children in the world. So women and men difference is only this. Otherwise, women can do same what men can do what same women can do. So we all know that. So these women, because of this pregnancy function, the puberty stage is little different. Till puberty, both boys and girls grow in the same way. Whatever environment they are exposed, whatever hereditary they have, they grow in the same way. But once they come into puberty, boys also attain puberty, but girls, along with the puberty changes, they have this menstrual flow. That menstrual cycle starts. That is the first indication where they are fit to be mothers. Imagine a 10-year-old child, 8-year-old child becoming fit to be a mother. The stress level what the mother of this child undergoes is really little difficult. So once she starts this flow, immediately within 6 months, if we introduce them to this Kai Yoga, this Kayakalpa exercises, it has amazing benefits to the women, because by doing these Kayakalpa exercises, the ovum and the sperm are getting more purified, and they are producing wonderful ovum and sperm. Like in this brahmacharya stage in our culture, celibacy is such an important thing, whereas in Western culture that importance is not given. So I have even heard you speaking so much about this celibacy. We have to give importance to that, and then we have to support this female child, male child, both. But this child needs little bit more, because she's not able to understand what is this procedure, and parents are so shy to explain this in spite of her being ready. That's why so many other complications will come up in the over the
So to
years.
be specific, does Kayakalpa Yoga, particularly the Ashwini Mudra and perhaps the Ojo's breathing, and there's also, of course, another beautiful exercise called as the deer practice that Swamiji used to teach along with the Kayakalpa Yoga. Do these exercises help in specific ways to regulate the menstruation cycle or the bleeding or spotting and cramps and various other hormonal imbalances and associated pains and difficulties that a young adolescent girl goes through? Do they help? And if so, how?
Yes. So actually, this Kayakalpa starts with Ashwini Mudra. Ashwini Mudra is stimulating the pelvic muscles. What we are doing, that is exactly is Kegel's exercise. What we teach. The pelvic floor is such an important structure which contains all the important pelvic muscles. The uterus, the ovaries, tubes, behind is the rectum, and the bladder in front. So all these muscles need to have good air circulation, blood circulation, as well as heat circulation. So when they start stimulating this, as we just discussed about the sedentary lifestyle, this stimulation is very much important. So from adolescent age, if they start these exercises, it's not only strengthens, it also causes a lot of hormonal balance. That hormonal imbalance is one of the cause for this PCOD. So that stimulation in turn will cause hormonal balance it, because the whole process is based on estrogen, progesterone, and all the important hormones which is needed. It not only stimulates in this particular area, it also reaches the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, the hypothalamo pituitary. The whole process is stimulated through this Kayakalpa exercise. That's how it works. That's what I have understood.
Lovely. So let's, we understand. In summary, you are saying that the deer exercise, the Ashwini Mudra, Ojo's breathing, specifically can help regulate the menstruation cycle of the young adolescent girl, and could, in fact, perhaps reduce various other imbalances, including hormonal imbalances, and maybe even reduce certain complications such as overbleeding or underbleeding, excess bleeding, longer menstruation cycles or irregular periods, etc., etc. could perhaps be addressed in a more methodical manner with the help of Kayakalpa Yoga. Did I understand that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's now talk about the pregnancy period. I would like to specifically focus on the prenatal and the postnatal part of it. So let's talk first about the prenatal part of it. First question that I have is, does Kayakalpa Yoga help in infertility cases?
Yes. That's a very interesting question, because infertility as such is becoming more complicated and more expensive because of various reasons. One is the ovum is becoming older and they come for the infertility treatment itself little later. But with Kayakalpa Yoga, that ovum can be still more younger. But when they start these Kayakalpa exercises from the adolescent age itself, this ovum preservation is so good, with a good hormonal balance also it is possible. So the infertility also can be reduced, plus the problems which they go through, the PCOD and other problems what they have also can be controlled. But so many people think only by doing Kayakalpa it can be corrected. It is not so. We have to include all the other part, because food is medicine. That's what Maharshi Vedatri says. So all of us know that. So we have to concentrate on food and mind. We should not. We should understand how to control our mind. That is how meditation helps a lot. And also there are these days children also get so angry. They have so much of desires, they have so much of worries at this younger age group only. So the stress level is so much. That is where the introspection acts. So all this together combined, the Kayakalpa helps in infertility management. So but once when the doctor is doing the infertility treatment, if they are following this and with the confidence, the Sky Yoga plus the management, the cycle becomes easier for the doctor also to do it, because mainly patience is not there, and people want target oriented. Now they want pregnancy, and they don't want pregnancy for 10 years. Suddenly they want pregnancy in this year. So the doctor also has to work based on that. So along with this Sky Yoga, it will help a lot for the infertility patients. So once they become pregnant, the pregnancy
Yeah, so
part.
that was going to be my next question. So thank you very much for answering the infertility part of the question. So on the pregnancy period, during pregnancy, how does Kayakalpa Yoga help?
Yes. During pregnancy, this Ashwini Mudra is one of the most important thing. But pregnancy, always they should consult with the professors, the Sky Yoga professors. They should not just start on their own. So always talk to them, because there may be some other problems behind. We have to rule out everything and then only we have to start this exercise. So we only recommend only Ashwini Mudra. OJS is not recommended in pregnancy. This Ashwini Mudra helps to again strengthen the pelvic muscles along with pranayamas. It helps them to regulate throughout the whole pregnancy. And the importance of pregnancy, because these days we just conceive and mechanically it just goes on. But there is a live birth inside our body, and we have been given this such an important job of delivering another human being. So all the precautions which has to be taken during pregnancy has to be taken, because these days pregnancy is also associated with high risks, because every other pregnancy is high risk, not like those days either they are associated with diabetes or hypertension. So along with the medical management, this pregnancy and this Kayakalpa Yoga has to be followed carefully. This time pregnancy, we cannot just follow what is needed. We have to take the advice of the professors as well as the doctors during.
Thank you. How does Kayakalpa, especially you are talking about Ashwini Mudra, how does it help in the childbirth process? Does it increase the chance of natural birth? Does it reduce the complications related to the birth for the child as well as for the mother. It's of course another birth for the mother herself. Because excruciating pain and a serious risk, great risk she takes in delivering the child. Although none of us really talk much about it, and none of us really give credit to the mother, and we all forget about it. So, how does it help the mother and the child
Yes.
during delivery?
Yes. This Ashwini Mudra helps the mother by strengthening the pelvic muscles. It also strengthens as well as relaxes. When we are doing this pranayamas, it is also relaxing the pelvic floor, because that's what is needed during a delivery process. And also the baby can also come out easily. But that is where we have to really work with the doctor, because other complications like cephalopelvic disproportion or breech presentation, we cannot take a chance with associated risk factors. If everything is normal, then for a normal delivery, it is definitely helpful. The other day, I just heard one of the pregnant patient. She was telling, "Doctor, I heard if I take epidural, I can deliver normally." Actually, by taking this epidural, you are preventing a normal delivery. Okay, of course, your pain level reduces, but what about the oxytocin hormone? What about the push you have to give to deliver the baby? All these will be diminished. This is the knowledge these children are exchanging with each other. I took epidural and I had a normal delivery. That's how they say. But actually, it is to reduce pain. But if we can withstand this pain factor, normal delivery is possible. Just because we are not able to withstand that, "Doctor, enough, my daughter cannot suffer more than this, please take her for section." "Doctor, I cannot manage this pain, please do section." And episiotomy pain, they feel, is more painful compared to the cesarean pain. So these are some of the reasons. But if we follow these Kayakalpa exercises and breathe pranayamas, everything, definitely the chances of normal delivery is more.
Well, interesting that you have to say this because I have two daughters. My first daughter went through an epidural process and she did have a natural birth. But her recovery from that childbirth process was a little longer, a little more complicated. Whereas my second child, my last daughter, that is, Aditi went to a birthing center. She didn't go to a hospital. She went through a birthing center, and right through the pregnancy, she was meditating. She was doing Ashwini Mudra more regularly, and there were a few other mudras that were taught to her, and she was trying all that. And this birthing center was so helpful, and they were completely against epidural. It was painful for the child, for my child, that is, for us to understand and for us to really accept that the child of ours could go through such excruciating pain in order to deliver our grandchild was something that was very tough on us, and she also went through certain difficulties in the process, but she had a natural delivery, and the child and the mother have recovered very quickly. I've seen that. I've seen that with my own three children, for instance. My wife learned Kayakalpa yoga and practiced Ashwini Mudra. All the three children were natural deliveries, and I've seen that about this process. Now,
That's really great. That's a
so
great hearing.
these are only, what do you call, these are not scientifically studied facts, but these are at best anecdotal evidences. So I suppose these anecdotal evidences, when they start accumulating in large numbers, then it would catch the fancy of the researchers, the research community, and they could perhaps conduct a more structured scientific study on effect of Kayakalpa yoga for natural birth. But definitely, with your experience, you would have seen hundreds and thousands of such cases. I've seen a few of them in my lifetime. There are evidences that show that Ashwini Mudra, particularly, is a powerful exercise that help improve the natural birthing process. and the chances of a natural birth for a mother very clearly. So let me now shift the focus onto the third phase of life for women's aging, the menopausal phase. Now, how does Kayakalpa Yoga, or which part of Kayakalpa Yoga? Now, when I'm talking about Kayakalpa Yoga, I'm including deer practice, Ashwini Mudra, Ojo's breathing. All the three things into it, even though the deer practice is not openly taught in any of our Sky Yoga centers, unless it is needed for the mother or the father, and it is recommended by a doctor, and it can be administered or it can be taught under the supervision of a doctor. We do teach many people. We have taught in our center because it has come from a gynecologist. It has come from your friend. You have many friends in Bangalore who are gynecologists.
Yes.
Dr. Meenakshi Bharat would have
Yeah.
recommended somebody here, or somebody else would have recommended, my son would have recommended somebody here. And
Yes.
there was a need for them to learn their practice, and we would have taken the permission to go ahead and do that. Exceptionally, we teach this, but let's include that for our discussion today. How
Yes.
does any of these practices help in menopausal conditions? There could be uterine bleeding, for instance, a dysfunctional DUB, as they call it, right? Dysfunctional uterine
Yes.
bleeding, where there could be prolonged bleeding for 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, and it could never stop. So there are obviously imbalances in estrogen and progesterone, and you need to take injections to stop these things or even remove the uterus. So, what is your experience on preventing such um, operations in serious conditions with the help of these exercises?
It's really very interesting question, sir. Because in menopausal age group, we have no fear of another baby or puberty. She's still young to interfere medically. All that fear in menopause, there is no fear of that. Menopause is just a normal physiological process. Do you remember your mother suffering of any menopausal problem? I don't also remember my mother or my grandmother suffering with any problem during the menopausal age group. But why is these days menopausal women are going through so much of stress? That itself is a proof that stress is one of the major cause for all these problems. Apart from these fibroids or any mass in the uterus, all these DUB and this hormonal imbalance can be corrected with yoga, Kayakalpa yoga and their exercises. That's what I feel. Because each doctors and each person will vary with that. Because they come to me and say, doctor, I have been doing this, but still it is not reducing. Please remove my uterus. I can't bear this anymore. Every month I am bleeding so much. It is only very few doctors may be removing the uterus, but media is just exaggerating that one particular. You yourself said, Dr. Meenakshi, I can quote thousands of doctors like that. Like, even if they come to me, I never advise to go in for hysterectomy. Even though they pester me, I will not advise. You please go and refer another doctor, I will tell them. Because when everything is ruled out, why should we do a hysterectomy? Unless the patient, they don't have that pain threshold as reduced basically these days. I always say rule out any major issues, like do a scan, do a pap smear in menopausal age group. If doctor says you have no problem, then you have to have trust and faith and continue with this Kayakalpa and their exercise. Definitely it will reduce and your flow is going to stop in another few years. Then why go and get uterus removed just because its function is over? Can we just keep on throwing that organ? No, we should not. We should have that faith and continue with this exercise. It is possible.
Lovely. So, in your opinion, you are saying that the deer practice as well as the Ashwini Mudra, along with, of course, the Ojo's breathing, could reduce, if not could completely eliminate all the negative symptoms associated with menopausal stage. of
Yeah.
women's life. Is that right? Did I understand it right?
Yes, sir, because this has to be associated with other practices also, because the stress level has to be reduced. It's
Of
so
course.
simple to reduce that with meditation and introspection. When we introspect itself, we know what is the root cause for this problem, what we are going through. That's how we have to eliminate the root cause rather than blaming somebody else. That's what we have to work on that.
I totally understand. I totally agree with you that the distress is one of the major reasons for many health related issues. And I understand that well over 90% of the diseases today are psychosomatic diseases. So it's induced because of distress.
Yes.
So thank you very much for answering all of these wonderful questions that we had in our mind to cover Kayakalpa Yoga for women's health. Is there anything that I have not asked that you would like to cover before we open the floor for questions from our participants?
So I always tell the patients that don't become a patient. Rather, you just prevent it, and then just individual peace, world peace can be attained just by following this simple sky yoga system. Once we know that if you feel it is so simple, you can just increase little bit by going out for a walk and even doing so many exercises also. There are so many exercises which are very interesting, and there are so many things which increases our happiness hormone without even going to a doctor or to any other therapist. So this is how we have to work on ourselves, because if individually we work on our happiness and peace, it is possible to take care of all the health issues. That's what
Very
I
well
would
said.
like
Very
to say.
beautiful advice that you are giving us, and I'm sure that many women who are there in this program today, who acknowledge and who are shaking their head up and down and saying, agreeing with you, and saying this is a wonderful advice that we must follow, and we should try and advise other people, other women who could potentially have some difficulties when they eventually grow up. So those who are interested in learning Kayakalpa Yoga, you can reach out to any Sky Yoga centers worldwide. You can go to vedatri.edu.in and look for a Sky Yoga center nearby. And those who don't have a center nearby, you can go to kayakalpayoga.edu.in, kayakalpayoga.edu.in. And these yoga systems, the entire Kayakalpa Yoga practices are taught online. This is through registered videos, and there are professors like me who can give you personal coaching in the process. Remember that I do not take any money for teaching Kayakalpa Yoga to anyone. Of course, the money that gets collected online goes to the World Community Service Center, and we are all voluntary professors, and we are happy to do the service because we have seen so much of benefit coming to us and our families through these yoga forms. And as a duty to our beloved Guru Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi, we are here to guide those who are interested in preventing diseases, living youthfully, and postponing death to suit your own needs. So let me just open the floor for questions, and those who are interested in asking questions may please press the hand raise button in the Zoom link. My first question goes to Malati Shriram. Could you please unmute yourself and ask your question to Dr. Dhavamani?
Um, Very good evening, ma'am and
Good
sir.
evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Malati, and my age is 41. Actually, from 38 years, I have this irregular periods. I started this irregular periods, like 2 months of periods, and third month the periods will not come, and the fourth month again I will have a period. Okay, so actually, in a year I will get some 8 to 9 periods. 12 months of time I will get the 8 to 9 periods.
Okay.
After 38, 39, 40, now I am in 41 age. Okay.
Okay.
Now I am getting only 6 months of periods. Alternatively, 1 month it is coming, the other month it is not coming. Next, am I reaching the menopause stage?
Is the
Or
flow heavy, ma'am? Is the flow heavy?
not really. First 2 days it is heavy, third day it is reducing actually.
Okay. Then have you done a scan or any pap smear in between?
Yes, ma'am. That I am doing every 3 years. It is normal only. But everybody is, my friends are actually telling me you should not have menopause below 45 years. It should end after 45 years only. That's why I'm asking whether it is normal to have menopause before 45 years.
Yes, ma'am. It is individualized. It's not common for everybody. Based on your hereditary factors, your mother, your grandmother, based on that, you will attain menopause. The way your quoting is exactly this is how menopause happens, and you have taken it so positively. So you don't have any problem at all. You have been doing medical follow-up also. That is also normal. So nothing to worry. Just this is the best way to continue your sky yoga exercises and attain your menopause without any problem.
Okay, ma'am. I am actually residing in Vadapalani. Is there any center nearby?
We have many
Vadapalani.
centers in Chennai. Go to vedatri.edu.in. I'm putting the link for the website in the chat box of the Zoom link. So please take it and you can go ahead and visit that website. Find a center near Vadapalani. We do have centers in T Nagar, Mamtam, Saidapet. We have it in Vadapalani also, I think. We have centers in Punamali, Ananagar. So you can talk to any of those centers, and whichever is convenient for you can go and learn this practice. Good luck, madam. Be blessed by the
Yeah,
God.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Vani, this is your turn.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் madam and sir. This is Vani from Dubai.
Okay, Vani.
How are you, ma'am?
Fine, thank you, Vani. Nice to see you in the here from even though both of us are from Dubai.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. As usual, today's session is also very motivating and informative, ma'am. I got lot of information. One general query, ma'am. This DEER exercise, only the person who is having any problem has to do, or every woman can do as a regular exercise? But in Sky Yoga, we are not emphasizing on that.
Only this DEER exercise has to be done only if you have problem. You should go to the centers nearby and they will teach you. Only if you have problem, you should do it.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. See you in the next session.
I think her voice is gone, but she got the points, I think.
Yeah, I got it, ma'am.
Yeah. Only if you have problem, you should do it, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. See you in the next session, ma'am. Valga valamudan.
Professor Rajaraman, you may unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, sir. Rajaram speaking. Speaking, sir. Speaking.
Go ahead, sir. Please go ahead, sir. You have to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask questions. Okay, looks like we are having some technical issues. Shanti, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes,
yeah, Rajaraman, sir, please. Yes, we are loud and clear, sir.
Rajaram from Chennai.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Doctor, madam, very valuable, informative information given for DGO studies. I got 3 questions, madam. I am grandfather of 76.
That's really nice.
The first question is, the lady doctor qualifying DGO, what is O stands for? I think it is obstetrics. What does it mean, madam?
Yeah, diploma in obstetrics and gynecology. Obstetrics is delivery. Gynecology is apart from delivery, all the other problems what we solve. So obstetrics, we specialize in obstetrics and gynecology. Now obstetrician is busy delivering the babies. Gynecologist is with other problems.
Okay. The second question is, Bakalishi prescribed DEER exercise only for ladies for reproduction systems. Is it applicable to male also?
May I answer that question, ma'am? Yes, it is applicable for male also. But Swamiji did not standardize and give it because of certain complications in explaining it openly in a culture culture like Indian culture, and hence he did not touch upon that.
Oh, okay. The last question is, generally, women are charged with the barren that is not able to produce offspring. It is general. They are cursed. But according to palm leaf written by Agastya, I learned male is only barren. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. In infertility study also the same thing is there. It's not only the problem with the women, the men also plays a equally important role in infertility. So just culturally, they just blame the women. It is not so. Both have to take the responsibility.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Be blessed,
Thank
divine.
Thank you. Shanti, this is your turn. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir, and good evening, ma'am.
Welcome.
I'm I'm Shanti from Dubai. I have PhD for more than 10 years. My period is not regular, and I learned Kayakalpa and Sky Yoga. We are trying for baby. And ma'am, in which hospital you are working? Is in Sharjah. May I come in person and?
How old are you? How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 34 years old, and I have one kid. He's 6 years old. I'm trying for second baby.
Okay, okay. You can take my number and you can call me, ma'am. I'll talk to you personally.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. Take care.
Lovely. We have one more person asking a question in our YouTube channel. This particular program is live on YouTube right now. There is a person called Vasant Yam who is saying, "Sir, do Kayakalpa yoga exercises make you slim?" So he's actually asking me, have I become slim because of Kayakalpa yoga? No, I think I've never put on weight. Of course, I've been doing Kayakalpa yoga for most of my life for the last 34, 35 years. So there is certainly discipline in and moderation in the food that I eat. I eat only twice a day. I don't snack in between. And I'm fairly energetic throughout the day in spite of just eating twice a day. And I don't have any disease, touch wood, no weakness, no illness so far. And I have been maintaining my weight between 70 and 75 for last 2 decades, from my age of 40 to now. I have never gone past 75, never gone below 70. Maybe there was one time when I went below 70 because I was fasting. I did not eat anything. I was on fruit, not even fruit. I was on water fasting for 17 days continuously in order to cleanse my body of all kinds of toxins that otherwise gets accumulated over a period of time in our body. But even then, I did not go down to. I don't think I went below 67. I think that is the lowest I have been. The highest I've been is 75. So 72, 71, 72 is my average weight. And I certainly attribute my ability to remain reasonably slim to Kayakalpa yoga, Swamiji's exercises, meditation, and most importantly, whole food plant-based diet, which I've been very strictly following for the last 7 years or so. And that is keeping me healthy and slim. But let me pose the same question on to ma'am. Ma'am, have you seen Kayakalpa yoga helping women particularly in losing weight and becoming slim?
So you already gave the answer. It is not only specific Kayakalpa yoga. We have to involve all the other factors when we are doing any yoga is the same, no? Like it is a overall body, mind, and soul. We have to work on all the three. So definitely we can maintain the weight. Same thing applies for women also.
Very nice.
You explained it
Rakshita
so well,
asked,
and you are a live example for that.
Rakshita asked a question in the chat box that her daughter is 14 years old and she has not started her menstruation cycle. So she's worried. So she's asking, is there any solution to get her periods to get kick started soon?
When did she get her periods?
She did not.
No, her mother. Her mother.
So Rakshita, if you are there and her phone is not working, I think she's having problem.
Actually, there is
unmuting
nothing
herself.
to worry. If in 14 years also, if you have not had your periods, there's nothing to worry. According to the protocol, once you cross 16, 17, only you should just go for a checkup. So you just wait for another year, definitely she'll get her periods. If you had delayed periods, then she will also have delayed periods. So 15, 16, 17 is okay. After that, you should go for a checkup if you have any problem. At present, if you are really worried, you can just go. But children really feel very shy to go for a checkup. So as a mother, you can just keep a watch on her. There's nothing to worry at this age.
Dr. Mahendra Prabhu asking, what should be the ideal gap between two babies, first and the second child?
That's really an amazing question. So basically, it's for the mothers, mother and father, the way how to take care of. 2 to 3 years should be fine. 2 to 3 years. But I always tell one after another, 2 kids you should have. 2 kids you should have.
One of my one of the persons who taught me homeschooling. Many of you know probably that my children are homeschooled. She is a strong advocate of having at least 6 years difference between the two children, so that one child can be given undivided attention till the child becomes absolutely independent of the parents before having another child. So I'm not an expert in this. I'm suppose between 2 years and 6 years, the answer could be anything that you like. Okay. Professor Satyavati, this is your turn. Could you please unmute yourself? You can ask the question to Dr. Dhavamani.
Madam and sir. My question is, what is the difference between Kegel's exercise and our Ashwini Mudra? Is there any variation there?
Kegel's exercise also is same like Ashwini Mudra only. But Ashwini Mudra, we are doing it one particular pattern. Like we are doing in sitting posture, lying down posture, and 3 postures, and in various times. No, we are doing for the whole day. It is balanced in such a way that you are doing it many times. In Kegels, we say about 40 to 50 times with different intervals we have to do. Only thing you see that you don't do it in a full bladder, because better to empty the bladder when you're doing this exercise.
Okay, Nagarajan asked the question in the YouTube channel. Just a second, ma'am. Nagarajan asked a question in the YouTube channel, what to do for better IQ development of child. I don't think there is any specific exercises or meditation techniques that I know of that can improve the IQ. Perhaps you can talk to a doctor. Yes, Professor Satyavati, go ahead with your next question.
Yes, madam. Just I want to have the clarification. I heard this Kegel's exercise is concentrated on vaginal contraction and expansion, whereas this Ashwini Mudra is based on our anal mouth. Is it so?
Actually, there are 3 types, ma'am. One is you can concentrate on the anus and do the exercise. That's why we say go online, because little more detail if you need, we have to learn more on that. So either you can concentrate on the anus or in the vagina or the urethra. But all these 3 organs are so near, it is difficult for that person to concentrate on which area. And that is why it's okay to concentrate. Ultimate is all the 3 organs. You have to contract and relax. That is the basic in Kegel's exercise as well as in Ashwini Mudra.
One more question, being professors, both of you, I have the opinion, if we do Ashwini Mudra, automatically the vaginal contraction also there.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Correct.
There seems to be some signal problem from Professor Satyavati. Let's go to the next question. Prakash CP, could you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Mr. Krish, and thank you so much, Dr. Kayakalpa. I have a question for for my daughter. She is about 21 years. So she has gone through this Kayakalpa yoga exercise and started practicing it, but she started complaining that I'm getting more of gastric issues or finding it a lot of stiffness. I'm not able to relate, and I just wanted to clarify. If this relay, give such type of issues, or is it some unreasonable reasoning for not to do it? I just want to understand that, doctor.
Go ahead, ma'am. Would you like to answer that question?
Actually, the Kegels exercise will not cause any such complication, but we don't know how many times she's doing, what is the intensity with which she is doing. She can slow down a little bit and observe what are the other problems she's going through. She can slow down a little bit and then observe. You can also tell, sir.
I don't think there's any side effects to these exercises at all. Let me invite Dr. Professor Jaya Lalmohan, who has also, by the way, done significant research on Kayakalpa Yoga, and she's online. Ma'am, please, sir, ma'am, both the doctors, they could unmute themselves.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Chris and
What Dhavamani?
So
Just to
nice
introduce Dr. Jaya Lalmohan, and she has been an ardent follower of Swamiji. She has been teaching Swamiji's practices, particularly with respect to Kayakalpa Yoga. When I was running a meditation center in Wipro, way back in 1994, if I'm not wrong, 95, we invited her to come and teach Kayakalpa Yoga. So she's the right person, I think, to add a few more expert opinion ideas onto her. And she's a doctor herself. Please, madam.
Thank you, Chris. So nice that you are organizing such a wonderful workshop, especially Kayakalpa and women's disease. It's really thoughtful of you, and you definitely have the blessings of Vedadari Maharshi. That's why you are able to. I always watch your video, all this performance in the YouTube. Okay, I'm so happy and I feel thrilled when I hear your voice and explaining all these things. Regarding Kayakalpa Yoga, I think I have met Dr. Thavamani also in one of the...
Yeah, I just remembered your face, ma'am. In a doctor's conference, we have met. Nice to see you here.
I remember your face also. It's really wonderful. My husband only told me that today there is a program like this. And we were having Kayakalpa classes for our local participants, online classes. And all of them used to whomever we take Kayakalpa, immediately they will ask the same question, everyone. Why such a wonderful practice? Why are you not giving it to the whole humankind? Why are you hiding the secret practice of Kayakalpa? And I used to tell them, we are not hiding anything. We are not ripe enough to learn Kayakalpa. That may be the reason. Because for the last 45 years, I am practicing in the government health service. And since 1984, I was blessed to learn Kayakalpa directly from Vedadari Maharshi. It actually turned my profession in the proper direction as a gynecologist. That's what I could share. And regarding the side effects which we are addressing now, personally, I'll say this is the only system where there is no question of side effect. That is the greatness of magnanimity of Swamiji. He himself was a grihasthasrami. He know what is required from a normal person. Normal person means a person who is leading a family life. So none of his exercise has any side effect. We make them complicated and invite the side effects because of our negligence. So regarding the contraction process of Ashwini Mudra, some people hold it very, 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 very tight. I should underline those words very, 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 very. Even if it is very tight also, it will not harm. But some will overdo the exercise. That may cause some irritation and pain around the anal region. That's the only side effect which you can come across. Otherwise, it is 100% free of side effect. It gives only benefits, no side effect. That's what I have experienced after teaching also. And I really enjoyed your explanation and the questions also from Christy. It was really thought-provoking. I'm so happy that I could meet you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. The moment I saw you, I just, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, you
Thank
have
you very
already.
much, ma'am. Thank
Thanks
you
to
very much for
Krish,
being there.
Thanks to
We should invite
Actually,
Professor Jaya Lal Mohan once for our show to discuss about her experience in Kayakalpa
surely,
Yoga and
surely
Sky
I'll do that.
practices, and I would love
And
to
it
have
is
you,
the
ma'am.
best practice for preventing infertility and also management of infertility for both male and female, not only for female. The number of male infertility cases are increasing. Almost 60% of the causes now attributed to male, and that all related to stress. So it is the best treatment, prevention as well as management of male infertility. That's what I have to add. Anyway, I'm so happy
Thank you.
to share.
Thank you, ma'am.
We will meet
Davam
again.
AK asked a question in the YouTube channel. His question is, can we cure any diseases using Kayakalpa Yoga? Your opinion, Dr. Dhavamani.
So disease, the root cause of any disease, we know. We have to work on our body so that diseases doesn't happen. So when diseases come, we have to assess to what is the level, what is the severity of the disease. Prevention is possible. Like now, just now you shared, touch wood, by the grace of God, I don't have any disease. You shared, touch wood, by the grace of God, I don't have any disease. I say, that's what I've seen with so many senior professors in the earlier I have seen. And they are all 80 plus and they are all really so good. That's all proof that we can prevent diseases.
Constantine Neo asked an interesting question: how to control the feeling of lust despite trying to focus mainly on meditation? It feels like mind is so bad with a pure heart. Constantine, let me just give you an answer to this. For a man, it is indeed very, very difficult to control lust. And one of the practices that will help you to overcome your obsession with lustful thoughts is Kayakalpa Yoga, because it transmutes the sexual energy into spiritual energy. The entire theory of how this is done and why this is to be practiced and the benefits of these are available in our theory course on online kayakalpayoga.edu.in. I invite you to sign up. It's free and you can start watching those videos. There are about 24 videos that I have made, which explains the entire theory and the benefits of Kayakalpa Yoga, available online for free. You just need to give your name, email ID, and mobile number, and you can get access to it instantly. You can watch it any number of times. You can watch it leisurely. And if you are indeed convinced of learning these exercises practically, then you can either go over to a Sky Yoga center nearby, or you can simply upgrade to the practice course in kayakalpayoga.edu.in. And there are several videos that we have produced, and it's available there. And my personal WhatsApp number is also available on the practice course. You can contact me directly. I can walk you through the practice of Kayakalpa Yoga through a personal coaching session as well. And of course, this is also being taught as a group learning session in kundaliniyoga.edu.in. So every month there are 2 classes that happens. So feel free to join and learn from any system that is convenient and comfortable for you to learn from. Good luck to you. So thank you very much, Dr. Dhavamani. Thank you very much, all of you for joining. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being a great source of inspiration for all of us. Thank you for spending so much of time. Thank you for giving insightful answers for many of the questions of ours with respect to Kundalini Yoga and Kayakalpa Yoga. There are, of course, questions that keep on flowing, but there is a limit as to how many questions we can take and how much we can answer because of the paucity of time. So I request you to keep your calendar open sometime in the future for us, so that you can come back to us in the same channel and maybe answer a whole lot of other questions related to not just Kayakalpa Yoga for women's health, but in general women's health, and how women can certainly enjoy good health and therefore produce good offsprings and make this world a better, peaceful world for all of us to live in the future. Thank you very much, ma'am. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you all for joining us, and I will see you in the next session. The next session is on Monday at 9 p.m., where we are going to talk about diet for diabetes. Diet for diabetes with Dr. Achyutan Ishwar. So mark your calendar, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday evening live at 9 p.m. over Zoom. The link is the same ID. The Zoom link is 990024021. The password is SMART. So it doesn't change. I will provide the link in the YouTube link also. And I will certainly share it in all the WhatsApp groups and through emails. You will receive the link, and we invite you to join live, and you can ask any number of questions to us either through the Zoom link or through the YouTube link that is available in my channel. So thank you very much. Till then, stay safe. May God bless you. Good luck to all of you. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you very much, Dr. Thavamani.